Donald Trump is getting even more desperate with just under a month until Election Day 2024. He held this event in Butler, Pennsylvania. That was the site where he was shot at a few months ago, and he wanted to kind of relive the glory days in a weird way. If you remember, Donald Trump has been kind of using that moment for his campaign for a long time now and to enrich himself. Like very quickly after, he was selling these fight assassination edition sneakers. Like, I'm not making this up. You could see them for yourself right here. He was selling these to people for $300. Donald Trump returned to the scene. He was there with Elon Musk, and things got incredibly weird. He is ramping up his grifts. He is ramping up his lies. His entire candidacy, quite frankly, is one big disinformation operation. I'm going to break it all down for you. I'm going to give you the latest news here on the MeidasTouch Network. First, my name is Brett Meiselas. Remember to hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3.5 million subscribers. So I told you this was weird. You know we always bring receipts here at the MeidasTouch Network. Here was when Elon Musk came out at this event in Butler, Pennsylvania. I would say that this was the cringiest thing I've ever seen in politics, but honestly, this is the cringiest thing I probably have ever seen ever. Watch this.
Come here. Take over, Elon. Just take over.
And in case that didn't capture it enough, take a look at this picture that the New York Times got of Elon Musk doing his weird jumping around and dancing, and you see Donald Trump's face there, and Donald Trump does not look too pleased when you look at Trump's face. The whole thing was just so utterly bizarre. And then remember, this was at the same location where the shooting happened and Donald Trump was shot at, but there was actually an individual at Donald Trump's rally back then who was shot and killed, a firefighter. And so this is how Donald Trump decided to honor that firefighter. This was a very solemn moment at the end of Donald Trump's rally. Watch this. Yeah, now you see that I was being completely sarcastic. That was freaking weird, I will say, to say the least. And this whole event was just so bizarre. It was just the cultiest thing ever. I'm going to do another whole video on just the cult aspects about this, the weird kind of religious imagery they used, and on the crowd itself, the people who were there, because it was some strange stuff, you guys. But first, I want to focus on Donald Trump. I want to focus on Elon Musk. I want to also give you some other news about Vice President Kamala Harris. We got to look at this photo that was taken at this event also. Look at Elon Musk's face right here as he shakes Donald Trump's hand. I mean, does this look like an individual who is okay? This is almost like, honestly think it's like creepy. I think it's incredibly kind of scary to look at. As Mike Madrid says, a great political strategist, he compares this to the Kubrick stare. Stanley Kubrick, the filmmaker, he says the Kubrick stare is a technique used to portray insane or unstable characters in film. In a Kubrick stare, an actor looks out from under the brow line and tilts their head towards the camera. And you could see this photo of the various movies. You can see Donald Trump here, and it looks just like also what Elon Musk's stare was in the previous picture. As Republicans Against Trump puts it, this is normal versus weird, folks. You could see Vice President Kamala Harris and Liz Cheney this week, and you see this very bizarre picture of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Normal versus weird. You know what else is weird? Elon Musk's mom, during the event, tweeting and telling people to commit voter fraud, telling Republicans to commit voter fraud, like just telling them to flat out commit crimes. Here's what May Musk, Elon Musk's mom, said. She wrote, "The Democrats have given us another option. You don't have to register to vote. On election day, have 10 fake names, go to 10 polling booths and vote 10 times. That's 100 votes and it's not illegal. Maybe we should work the system too." That's actually highly illegal, and this is why MAGA people frequently get arrested for voter fraud, because they attempt these schemes thinking that they're legal, because people like May Musk and Elon Musk and Donald Trump says stuff like this happens, and then they end up spending a long time in jail while May Musk gets to live in her mansion and live off the wealth of her family. As I said on social media, going to prison because you decided to try out Elon Musk's mommy's voter fraud scheme, it's going to be a pretty lame story to tell the other inmates. Let's look at like what was actually happening in this rally. I'll just play like a few clips here, or maybe a couple. We'll see what we get to. Donald Trump said, we're going to boom like we've never boomed before. He just says the most insane things that don't even mean anything. Watch this.
We're going to boom like we've never boomed before.
You know what? That's enough of that for right now. I want to look at the local papers and see how they're covering what's going on in these disaster areas. Let's pull up the Charlotte Observer. Their editorial board wrote this incredible op-ed. They wrote, "Shame on Donald Trump for worsening North Carolina's Helene tragedy with political lies." I'm so glad that they are speaking out and pushing back to his blatant lies and disinformation. I want to read a little bit of this for you right now. They say, "Western North Carolina is trying to pick up the pieces left behind by Hurricane Helene, which decimated the region, leaving communities destroyed and a death toll in triple digits. This is not a situation to capitalize on for political gain, but former President Donald Trump has politicized the situation at every turn, spreading falsehoods and conspiracies that fracture the community instead of bringing it together. The worst example is a social media post Trump made on Monday in which he accused the federal government and Democratic Governor Roy Cooper of, quote, going out of their way not to help people in Republican areas, MAGA. That same day, Trump also posted that the Biden administration had, quote, left Americans to drown in North Carolina and other states. Then in an interview with his former advisor, Kellyanne Conway, Trump doubled down on his claims, saying the government is, quote, going out of their way to hurt Trump voters in Western North Carolina. Let's be clear. Western North Carolina is not a political football. This is not a campaign opportunity. The most unhelpful thing any politician or anyone else can do right now is spread misinformation and tell people that their government is not doing anything to help them. Sowing the seeds of political division is always an unnecessary and tiresome endeavor, but doing so in times of great need when unity is paramount is particularly shameful. There's no evidence to support any of these ridiculous claims, and by every indication, state and federal agencies have been working to help people in need. They've been airlifting food and other supplies to affected areas, helping families get information about missing loved ones, providing monetary assistance to folks whose homes were destroyed, working to clear and repair roads and get critical infrastructure back up and running. Well said, and thank you so much for calling it out. Now I want to show you this headline from the Winston Salem Journal. They say, fighting misinformation. Hurricane Helene triggers misinformation surge as experts link storm to climate change, which, by the way, is another thing that Donald Trump calls a hoax. Donald Trump, in moments of crisis and in non-moments of crisis, always is spreading blatant lies, blatant disinformation, and that is perpetrated by Elon Musk across social media, and it is dangerous. It is dangerous and it is wrong, and I'm happy that people are calling it out. The Washington Post did this incredible fact check over the weekend where they said, no, Biden did not take FEMA relief money to use on migrants, but Trump did. Donald Trump falsely accuses President Biden of redirecting disaster funds, a budget maneuver Trump himself approved in 2019. And I'm happy that they are calling this out, calling out the blatant lies, and President Biden responded to this saying, quote, once again, Donald Trump is a liar. He's the guy who redirected relief funds as president. We are moving heaven and earth to make sure that everyone affected by Hurricane Helene gets what they need. And if you ask some of the serious Republican politicians who are on the ground in these areas, they are furious at Donald Trump and his ilk for spreading these lies about what is going on. Like here is GOP Governor Lee.
There's a lot of misinformation. In fact, there's some belief and understanding that may be coming from foreign sources just to confuse on the ground what's happening here. There's no confiscation of supplies or of products coming in by FEMA or TEMA. Look, these people are in tears. And you see the TEMA director get emotional yesterday about the people that we are serving. I saw a county mayor every single day with tears in their eyes, emotional, serving the people alongside their FEMA and TEMA counterparts in their EOCs. There's nothing but commitment to serving the people in this state, and those who spread that kind of misinformation, it's deeply unfortunate that that's happening.
And here was Governor Roy Cooper to Vice President Kamala Harris saying that he is grateful for the federal resources that have been deployed to North Carolina. Watch this clip.
Carolina, this has been an unprecedented disaster for our state, but what you are seeing, thanks to you and the Biden-Harris administration, state and local officials, volunteers, private organizations, this has been a massive, unprecedented response. We are deeply grateful for the federal resources that we have, FEMA has been on the ground with us since the very beginning of this. So we look forward to briefing and giving you details about the significant progress that's happening and all that we have to do. Unfortunately, we have 68 people who've lost their lives, but people are still working hard in search and rescue to save people and to surge resources into Western North Carolina. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Governor.
And so other than spreading these blatant lies at his rally, at his bizarre cultish rally, what else was Donald Trump speaking about in Butler, Pennsylvania? Well, he was saying that he was the healthiest of the presidents. Watch this.
In the White House, the press, the fake news media said, who is the most? He was the doctor for Obama, Bush, and Trump. That's pretty good, right? White House doctor for the three of us. He said, the press, who is the healthiest of the three? He said, definitely it's Donald Trump. There's not even a contest. And I love that guy. When he said that, JD, when he said that, I said, I like this guy. So then he said, you know, sir, he was leaving the White House. He said, you know, I'd love to run for Congress. And he ran against 28 people. They were all running for the Republican primary because whoever won that primary is going to win. I think it's a Trump plus 48. Whoever wins gets 48 point start. And not only did he win, he won easily. And now he's one of the most popular people in Congress and one of the most talented, maybe more importantly. Ronnie Jackson. Ronnie?
Your doctor was Ronnie Jackson, the guy known for running a pill mill out of the White House. I wouldn't get so excited there. And I'll just put up this picture right here, and I'll let the audience be the judge of who's the healthiest person in these images right here. Like I said, this was a cult rally on steroids. It was so utterly bizarre, and lies and misinformation were the headlines from this rally, other than just the utter weirdness. And so one of the vendors, for example, had this kind of cardboard cutout of Donald Trump where he was dressed like a superhero with chiseled abs, not wearing a shirt, and he had a tattoo across his chest in this cardboard cutout that said Defender of Pets. That is a reference to this phony story, this blatant lie, this heinous xenophobic lie about Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio. This entire movement is built on lies. So you got to wonder, like, who are the people who are going to this event, who are buying this crap? Well, you got like this guy right here. This guy is wearing a Trump shirt and says, Daddy's home, with a picture of Donald Trump on it. This guy calls Donald Trump Daddy. It's kind of weird, right? Then let's look at this woman who calls herself the Trump girl, and she's pointing at her body. This is just so completely, utterly strange. Then in the pre-show that they have pre-shows where people kind of pump up Donald Trump before he comes on. They have this guy, Scott Pressler, who is just one of the weirdest of the MAGA people, and that's saying a lot. I mean, look the guy up. You'll see some horrific things about this guy, but he was on stage, and one of his big messages was that Trump will protect your raw milk.
We will protect your raw milk, your dairy, your farming, your school choice, your religious freedom, your ability to afford to have 10 beautiful children per family.
And let's remember, like, what Trump has been just speaking about at his rallies. Like, he's just going on these bizarre tangents, and he never really addresses issues people care about, but he just kind of whines and complains about himself. Like the other day, he complained that the chair that he was sitting on at this event was uncomfortable, and he said it's probably a booby trap sent by Kamala Harris, huh?
I think I'm going to stand. This chair is the most uncomfortable chair I've ever. First of all, it spins. So I'm not sitting in that sucker. I think it's a booby trap. That was put there by Kamala.
Here's another thing that they are selling. This is the Keep Fighting Trump Man bobblehead. It is Trump with his fist raised. It's supposed to be him after the assassination attempt. He's got a bloodied face and a bloodied hand, and he's wearing a cape. And it says Trump Man, and you could own a piece of history, it says, and shop now. Folks, this is weird stuff, and we are in serious times, and serious times demand serious leadership. And so I hope when you see the contrast here of what's going on, it becomes apparent to you. We're just showing you the clips. We're just showing you what is happening at these events. And I think ultimately you could draw your own conclusions about what's going on and who is actually serious in helping the people. But I also want to flag this. There's a lot of disinformation out there, and I'll just call it what it is. They're lies. A lot of lies. They come from people like Donald Trump. They come from people like Elon Musk. They spread like wildfire, And guess what? They're BS, they're lies, okay? This is going to get worse as we get to election day. They're going to ramp up day in and day out. So I'm going to call on you on this clip right here to remain vigilant. If you see something that you think maybe that looks fake or that doesn't sound quite right, do your extra research, check with us. There's going to be a lot of BS in these next 30 days or so and beyond. We are in uncharted territory, so we are all going to have to remain extra vigilant in these remaining days and in the future with technology. It's getting crazy. That's my message to you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember to share these videos, like these videos, leave a comment. I really appreciate it all. Until next time, I'll see you soon.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.